We hit 42 weeks tomorrow, technically tonight at midnight. And so in the state of Arkansas, you can no longer give birth at home with a midwife after 42 weeks. So, and they're pretty strict about it. So like on the dot. I did not go into labor yet. Didn't go into labor today. We did end up, sadly, we ended up getting a membrane sweep yesterday, which I was trying really hard not to get one, and it didn't do anything. So I'm just hardly dilated, and so we had an appointment with the health department. They sent us to the hospital and said, you're going to be giving birth in the hospital. So we are here, and if I had a choice of all the hospitals, this is the one I would definitely choose to have it in. So, yeah, so we're here.
We're actually doing pretty good right now. We were pretty distraught earlier.
Yes.
Because if y'all have been following along on this journey at all, you'll know that for the past 9 months, before that, like Crystal's whole thing has been being the best mom she can be. So she's been diving into the research. She's been diving into what she can do proactively before little Rigel was ever even conceived. And we've been putting in work to like be perfect with everything with this. So to follow all the rules, to have everything done meticulously and just to perfection, and then have what we had hoped to happen stripped from us at the very literal last minute is pretty frustrating. And Crystal was crying, and I was pretty frustrated, but at the end of the day, you just have to kind of roll with the punches. I mean, the option was basically to have a birth at home without assistance, unassisted, and then run the risk that entails, or go into the hospital and then play by their rules. So that's what we're going to do, to just give the best chance for Rigel.
But we have to be here.
We are definitely being pretty strict with things still. So we got here, and it's a women's clinic. It's Willow Creek Women's Hospital, and they did a bunch of questions to see what our status was, what Rigel's status was. They monitored his heart rate. Then they did an ultrasound to see how much he weighed, what his circumference measurements were. His biceps were popping. They verified that he was, in fact, a boy. They saw testicles on the ultrasound, so he is a boy. And
placenta's great. There's plenty of fluid in there.
Usually when you go past 42 weeks, you run the risk of there being a lack of amniotic fluid. That wasn't an issue. He has plenty of fluid. He's totally fine.
Yeah.
All of his markers are fine. He's at a healthy weight of like 9 pounds via the ultrasound. So we probably could have had a baby totally normal next week, naturally, but we wouldn't have been able to do it with a midwife, and we didn't want to take that risk. So that's why we're here. When we got here, they were kind of like wanting to automatically hit the ground running and like do pitocin, do an IV, do all that stuff. We decided that we didn't want to do that. We're going to go with something called Cervidil. If you can see that. And basically what this is you insert it into the cervix, and it basically relaxes the cervix and helps it dilate further. So right now, Crystal's like 1.5, 2 centimeters dilated, which is not enough. So this is designed to increase that dilation so that we can hopefully bypass the pitocin and then therefore bypass the epidurals and just all the other drugs, and then just do this as unmedicated as possible with just using this topical Cervidil drug.
Yep. It's about 6 o'clock. They put it in about 5:30, so we'll find out in 12 hours what needs to happen next, whether the Cervidil worked or it didn't work. The next step would either be to break my water or do pitocin. So we're trying to avoid pitocin at all costs, because usually when people do pitocin, it's a lot more painful.
And then that's when you get the epidural.
Yep. And we're not really wanting
We're not saying that people that have done that are terrible parents or
not
people
at all.
At all. We're not saying that at all. But
that's not what we want to do.
That's just not what we want to do. We're trying to be as natural as possible with this. And there's some situations where that's what is needed, but we're trying to be as natural as possible with this.
Yep.
So there's the update there. Before I end this clip, listen to little Rigel's heartbeat. Check it out.
Healthy as a horse.
healthy as a horse. I'm not really sure where the audio's coming from, but certainly y'all can hear that thumping. Rigel's all hooked up.
We got him hooked up right here.
Ready to go.
Some people are weird about being hooked up to a monitor and wearing the gowns and things like that. It doesn't bother me. So
here's our room. So
it's actually a pretty nice room.
Yeah.
There's also rooms with tubs and things like that, but it's kind of like a first come first serve, and other people have them like dedicated to them. So we got one without one, which is totally fine. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Eat your burger. Get some food in you, baby. I love you.
Love you too.
Love you too, Rigel.
All right, guys. So today, it is now the 18th, May 18th. It is about 5:30 in the morning. They just took the cervidil out and checked me, and I'm still only 2 centimeters dilated. So I progressed, but hardly at all. So now we are going to start the pitocin.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Breathe.
So now we're going to start the pitocin. It's like everything I've never wanted, which is really hard for me. It's been a little bit of a struggle because I just feel like my body is not ready. It's not responding well to everything, and it's just super tight. So we're going to start that. They're starting me at a 2, which is like the lowest you can go. They're going to increase it every 40 minutes and keep checking me. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. My midwife's going to come here and hang out with us for a bit. It might be a very long day. Right now it's 5:30 in the morning. It might be a long day, or things might progress really quickly depending on how I respond to the pitocin. So fingers crossed that it just goes really well, and we're gonna have a baby boy by the end of the day, hopefully, or early tomorrow. So, all right, guys, talk to you later.
Hi.
You guys have heard a lot about Anna. This is my midwife. She has been here for several hours now. She's been absolutely amazing. As we kind of turned things into being in the hospital, she started doing more doula type job stuff. So she won't be the one, helping deliver, but she's like by my side, helping me answer all the questions, helping me do all the things, because she's my girl. That's right.
And we got Robert over here. He's finally reading the childbirth book.
What's up?
What's up?
What you got, babe?
We just thought we'd update you guys. What time is it? It's 11:30, and I'm feeling really great. The last time they checked me, what time was it? Like 9?
Oh, wow. 8 or 9 something.
So the last time they checked me, I was about 2 or 3 centimeters dilated. And still feeling great. I'm actually surprised I feel so good. We have the pitocin going. They've upped it a couple of times, but it seems like I'm responding pretty well to it.
We're at level 6 out of 30.
Yeah.
On the pitocin. I'm not sure what they said that was. 6 milligrams. I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either. And then Rigel's head. Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, so supposedly his head, like when it's coming out of the birth canal, it's supposed to be like chin tucked, like he's...
Like the crown of your head is coming out the top.
But instead he's like up
looking
like that,
up.
trying to get like a view of everything coming out, I guess. So we're trying to like
when
do
they
stuff like this where she's in a different position.
Like all fours, just trying different positions to get his head moving in the right area. But when they check my cervix, they can feel an eye, so they shouldn't be able to feel his eye. They should be just feeling the top of his head. So trying to move around, get him going, because this could potentially be part of the reason why we're not progressing as quickly, just because his head's not in the perfect position. So just got to get things moving around. So that's where we're at. Feeling good. Hoping to have him tonight still.
Yep, we've been eating keto bricks and
they let me eat
jerky
this morning.
sticks.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be able to eat this. I wasn't supposed to be able to eat this morning, but they approved me to eat, so I had like a jerky stick and some Parm crisps and keto brick, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
It's probably the last thing I'll eat before I have him.
And
I'm eating ice chips now.
The IV that she's hooked up to does not contain dextrose or anything like that. I looked at it; it's just a simple electrolyte drip.
Yep.
So it's got like sodium chloride, potassium chloride, all that good stuff, but no sugar. So there's that. All right, y'all. Anything else?
That's it.
Till next time.
Hello. Well, my water broke. We're pretty sure they didn't test it, but contractions are way worse and definitely felt a pop and a gush. So that's where we're at right now. Feeling really good in between contractions, but contractions are getting a little more difficult for sure. They're lasting about a minute, and they're coming every 2 to 3 minutes. So hoping that my body just like starts taking off, and we can not increase the pitocin, and we can just go into the rest of the labor naturally. All right, what's going on, you guys? Today's been a crazy day. I can't remember the last thing that we updated you guys with, but it's about 10:30 p.m. I labored for 12 hours today, and we got to about 5 centimeters dilated, which was wonderful. However, Rigel had an issue with the placement of his head, and we were trying to do all the things and move in all different types of positions and things like that, to get him to be in a good position. But unfortunately, as we tried to do those things, he just kept moving into the worser position, and we ended up having an emergency C-section. Not really an emergency C-section. It's we had a C-section that was done directly after we decided, but it was not an emergency. So we did that. There's a lot of different details about that we talked to them about, that we were on the same page about, and we might have to do like a follow-up video on all the things. But things are great. We have a great, beautiful, wonderful baby boy. The C-section went really well, and he's crying in the background. So everything went really perfectly. I'm a little itchy from some of the medicine they gave me, but we're happy, and we're just happy that he made it earthside, when it was his time. And we would have caught this if we had our home birth, but we probably would have had to come in no matter what. So I think it was just meant to be that it happened this way. But they said it was probably definitely this reason for why we went so long, and didn't go into labor before. So anywho, there's this little cutie that's gonna live with us for forever. But that is kind of the recap of the day. And did you want to show him? Sure. And we're gonna show you guys him.
Oh, buddy. Look at this little guy. Little savage. Robert Rigel Sykes. He's pretty much as cute as they come. He's pretty cute. Look at all that hair he's got.
Yeah, he does have a lot of hair. I'm gonna try and film it this way. Yeah, he does have a lot of hair. Look at that dad. Look at that daddy. You guys are cute.
His little fingers.
Yeah. He's so sweet.
What's up, y'all? Rigel's awake. His eyes are open.
Lots of skin to skin action.
Just taking one day at a time here. What all did you tell him on the last clip?
Can't remember.
So, we're both pretty tired right now. I don't know what all Crystal said on the last clip. But to recap, we got in on Tuesday at what time? Probably like 3? Something like that. 3 or 4 or 5, something in there.
Did we even tell them what happened?
I don't know.
I don't think we
just did a
did.
full-blown recap. So we got in at Tuesday. We're going to do a podcast on this too. Got in at Tuesday, 3 to 5. Started taking Cervidil. We talked about that. 12 hours of Cervidil. That increased her dilation by like 1 centimeter. But that wasn't enough. So then she started taking pitocin. Started on a low dose of pitocin. Did that for 12 hours. She labored for 12 hours during that because it was increasing in dosage every hour or two. Got up to 8. I think it's 8 grams per 8 milligrams per hour. I think is what that rate is. Had pretty bad labor contractions. So then she started taking nitrous oxide to help with the pain there.
Only after they broke my water.
After they broke her water, she started taking nitrous oxide. The pitocin intensifies the pain. And she didn't want to do an epidural, so we were going with the nitrous oxide. At that point, Rigel's face was in the brow position, so face presentation, which basically means instead of the top of his head coming out, his face was coming out. And depending on which angle he is, like if he's facing her belly versus facing her back, you either can or you can't do a vaginal delivery. He was facing the one which you can't do a vaginal delivery, so it was a mandatory C-section. And that's what we did, and here he is.
And here he is. He's perfect.
He is perfect.
Any other words?
I don't know, you got any thoughts for the camera?
Not really. We can talk about how I feel a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Okay.
We got some steak. We got a little baby snoozing while we eat. We got a happy, healthy mama.
Yeah.
What you got cooking over here?
Salad. Oh, these are some veggies and then a steak here.
Happy?
Pretty excited.
I love you.
Love you too.
What's
All right.
up?
All right, so we are about to head home. We are being discharged. We are ready to go home.
We just got done changing a diaper.
Yep. Feeding, changing a diaper, and now we're gonna go. We're gonna go home.
And he peed all over you.
Sure did.
But you tired, Rigel?
I know.
Your food coma? Milk coma?
Milk coma.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Alright, y'all, so even though I got something in my eye, even though none of this really panned out like we had planned, we had one visualization in our minds the whole time. It's like after we have a baby at home, we're gonna sit outside on the porch, hold Rigel, and eat our homemade keto popsicles. And even though we didn't have Rigel at home, we can still do the latter. Check it out. We got our popsicles. We got our Rigel, we got Crystal. Life is good. On the porch. Then we got Jack. Supervising. Love you, baby. Love you too, Rigel. And that's a wrap. More details on this vlog later. Anything else you want to say? No? Happy? Gonna be a great mama, Crystal.